conquered the rock world, sold over 20 million albums worldwide, and stepped away at the peak of their success. Now, Soundgarden is back, and their legacy continues with their first album in 15 years.
I've been away for too long.
In celebration of King Animal, we present another exclusive subscriber-only broadcast, SiriusXM's Town Hall with Soundgarden.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
We brought 20 contest winners together with their questions for the band.
Was the state of the music industry ever a concern for you guys before you started touring and recording again?
And were rewarded with a private performance at the historic Electric Lady Studios in New York City. Now, please welcome moderator of our Town Hall with Soundgarden, Foo Fighters drummer, Taylor Hawkins.
Guys, ready to meet the best rock and roll band in the world? Look at this. Look at this. You're breathing the same air as Soundgarden right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Taylor Hawkins.
Hey, Taylor. Hey, Taylor. What's up, T?
I play drums normally in a band called the Foo Fighters, but this is my second career, talk show host, starting with Sirius. And
This is your new career.
yeah, it's my new career. I bet you can make more money doing this, actually.
Really?
Well, hopefully. Anyways, this is a town hall meeting for Soundgarden on Sirius Radio. I'm going to introduce the guys. I've known who they are for a long time because this is one of my, really the only reason I'm here is because I get to hang out with one of my favorite bands of all time. This is Kim Thiel. Say hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
That is... Should I end with you, Chris? I'm going to end with Chris because he's the lead singer, of course.
I'm Ben.
That's Ben Shepherd over there.
Hey, guys. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Ben. That's the greatest drummer in the world, Matt Cameron.
Mr. Cameron. Thank you, Taylor. Matt Cameron.
You've heard of a certain man named Chris Cornell. Hello. Yeah, Chris. Pipes of God. So anyhow, we're doing a town hall, which I guess is like you guys get to ask all those questions you always wanted to ask.
Oh, my God.
It's going to get deep, dark, and weird.
But I thought you asked questions. But
No, I asked
he mediates
the person to ask the questions.
Yes.
Are you going to get up and like run over like Donahue with the mic? Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't bring the wireless mic. They actually they didn't have it in the budget. You guys had to have sushi and caviar, so instead of that, I get this. All right, let's start. Can we start with the first question? Ready? Everybody ready?
Go to the third one.
Okay. Now I got a order here.
All right.
It's all mathematical. It all makes sense.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good.
Mike Schaefer from Yonkers, New York. Where are you, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Raise your hand. There's Mike.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you very much. Everyone's older now. Has the maturity or the other life changes, children, sobriety, had an influence on your writing?
Well, my children are sober, so it's made everything serene. It all has an effect, I suppose. I don't know how much we have thought about that. I don't think we've thought about that too much, or sort of imagined that things are much different now, because as a band we are together making Soundgarden music, and that just kind of happens naturally. It sort of is what it is. And it's just that kind of immediate expression that we share, and it creates that chemistry.
Yeah, we can be drunken, infantile, acting people, just the same as we used to be. But
probably worse.
Well. I think you guys look exactly the same as you did 20 years ago.
That's because you're a little older and you don't see so good.
We're going to get going here pretty quick, and we're just going to run through this. And you guys know that they're jamming afterwards, right? I mean, you get to be this close to them while they jam for you. That's like the raddest garage party ever.
Doing all Tony Bennett covers.
Yeah, exactly. Janet Katz from Fort Lee.
Where?
Hi.
Where is you being?
I'm right here.
Where?
Hey,
gorgeous.
Janet.
Hi.
Hi, Janet.
Hi. For each of you, what sorts of music are you into that what we might be surprised to learn? EDM or classic disco or folk or classical?
What's EDM? What's
Yeah,
EDM?
Electronic dance music.
Is that electric? Yes, EDM.
Kim's really into EDM.
You should see the posters in my room.
You don't know what he's wearing underneath these normal clothes.
And how it fits.
I like EDP, actually. Electronic Dance Polka.
I'm going to guess that I can't really surprise anybody with stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's really awesome to be in this room because, Houses of the Holy was recorded here, and Hendrix, and, a lot of music that I grew up loving, I still love, and it's a lot of that classic stuff.
That's why Matt's so spooky.
But, I don't know.
Matt, you're surprising me.
I wear it on my sleeve. I don't know. I think we still all kind of go back to that music that we grew up loving, but I also love, Coltrane and Miles Davis and all that kind of stuff. But I think we all love kind of weirder stuff like, Ben and I really like, like Glenn Gould, and we all like Captain Beefheart, and I don't know. There's a lot of great new stuff that's nice and weird as well that I certainly like Death Grips and things like that. But I don't know. I think when you are a musician and you're like trying to create music and you're in a really creative band like this, it's sometimes that really takes up a lot of your headspace as far as music goes, because it's such a all-encompassing endeavor. But it's nice to get away from that as well and go listen to a Joni Mitchell record or something like that.
Don't sit around and listen to butt rock or hair metal, Barbie metal is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's best not to close your mind though.
Yeah.
To open it.
Yeah.
So if you close your mind, then it's not open, right? Supposedly, if the math works.
And you guys like Olivia Newton-John?
Who?
No.
Never heard of her.
No Olivia Newton-John fans?
No, she doesn't high five either.
I do like Chic though. Tony Thompson.
Tony Thompson?
Tony Thompson.
Tony Thompson. They might have recorded here.
We're doing secret drum talk
I'm sure
right
they
now.
did some version of a session in some way here.
They must have.
I do like to yell throbbing gristle in crowded movie theaters though.
Throbbing gristle.
That doesn't surprise Chris at all.
I felt like I heard which I've never really heard in any of your records, and I know all your records upside down, backwards, down on the upside down, and backwards. And I felt like I heard a little Tom Waits in Rowing.
What?
Yeah, I do. Guys ripped him off.
Kim gave me shit about that with the lyrics to Mind Riot. I'm sure he doesn't remember that. But I was starting that, so that's louder than love, right? Yes, louder than love. That's louder than love.
Bad Motorfinger.
That's my niece.
That's Bad Motorfinger.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my niece Paloma's favorite song, Chris.
Whose?
Paloma.
Really? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was a big Tom Waits fan probably before that, all the way up till now. He's probably one of my favorite living human being, songwriter, performer, actors, people. So you're right.
Well, I don't mean to rip them off, but it was reminiscent.
Come to think of it,
something about it. Something about it reminded me.
It's probably that kind of stompy, swampy, kind of
What? You guys
bluesy
up reality here?
kind of thing.
Strings. What?
Don't know where I'm going. I just
Keep on rolling. Has everybody heard the new record?
No. They're just faking it.
Come on now.
They don't even know why they're here.
Who bought it and who stole it? Yeah, that's what I'm really. You guys all look too old to steal records. I'm
Bunch of adults.
You all want to steal them. You just haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, you get your kids will figure it out.
Yeah, totally.
They probably already did. Janet, do you feel like your question was answered?
beautifully.
Excellent.
Janet, very nice question.
Yeah, Taylor.
Eloquent.
Better than yours.
This one's from
Whoa,
Eugene.
whoa. Step back. L'Amour's?
Yes.
We played there.
Yeah, we did.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just
Never heard of it.
Flash.
How does that happen?
That's on Brooklyn.
Who do we play? That was Faith No More and Voivod.
That's right.
Shit.
All three of us.
Wait, anyways, is this still around? I'm gonna ask you some questions.
It closed.
What's your name?
It closed about 4 years ago. So
Was that a
that's long
club?
time.
Yeah.
Is it Long Island or?
It's in Brooklyn. It's Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, one of the greatest rock clubs ever.
Yeah. Okay. I should have.
Did you throw a mic stand through the ceiling there?
Probably. Chris.
Was it a low ceiling?
Yeah. It was easy to reach with the mic stand.
Then yes.
All right, here's my question. Here we are in Electric Lady Studios, and I feel the spirit of Jimi Hendrix. As a young band starting out in Seattle, did the spirit influence you at all?
Oh,
Totally.
Jiminy.
Totally. I mean,
That wasn't what I was going to say.
he grew up. He comes
Go
from the
ahead.
Pacific Northwest. I have a friend in Seattle named Greg Keplinger who used to like go to some clubs that I guess like he used to play out as a kid, and there's a club that was called Spanish Castle that he wrote the song about. So I mean, he obviously left the Northwest at a very young age, but
Who is this guy that everyone talks about?
Greg Keplinger?
No, Jimi Hendrix. I saw a picture of him today for the first time.
We used to do I Don't Live Today, and
Can you see me?
that was my first record as a kid, was smash hits. So for me, that was an enormous part of my musical upbringing, for sure.
My first band I was ever in was called the Jones Street Band because we rehearsed at my house, which was on Jones Street. And one of the guitar players, who was 17, he was just completely focused on Jimmy Page, and the other one, who was 15, was focused on Hendrix. And that was my first experience of being in a band with a kid that that's all he did was try to figure out all the different little tricks Hendrix did, and that made me shy away from anything that was Hendrix-like for a long time. But you get a lot of young guitar players focusing on Hendrix. At least you did back when I was a teenager starting out. And there was a lot of sort of Hendrix-like sounding bands. There was one guy who made his whole career out of sounding like Jimmy and doing kind of a tribute to Jimi Hendrix that's out of Seattle. But yeah, it's sort of a part of the Northwest. Like, you feel like he was a part of the Northwest, but at the same time, he wasn't recognized on the west coast of the United States first. He was recognized in
London,
England, in London first, and he had to find support somewhere else. So in that way, we carry shame with us.
Yeah. Same with Ray Charles, Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones.
You all have to bail out of Seattle to make it.
Well, our first positive reviews in Seattle were paraphrasing reviews from Enemy and New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the way Seattle is, I guess.
And the East Village Eye.
You guys all think we're from Canada because we're from Seattle.
Are we moving on to Jen? Rosalie? Is that right?
Is that right?
Jen or Rosalie?
Both.
Okay, so Jen's the first name, Rosalie is the last name.
Yes.
Like Jerry.
You got kind of one of them
like Jerry
double,
Rosalie from the
you got a
Sonics.
double first name.
Are you related to the guy in the Sonics?
No.
Oh, okay.
But thanks for doing this. The question is, Been Away Too Long. Was that specifically written with the intent of being the first single, and what was it like to play that together the first time?
The music was written, it was one of the earlier songs we worked on, but didn't have lyrics till very near the end of the album, so I guess, around the time we started mixing. So it survived kind of as an instrumental that we all liked. And then I wrote lyrics at the last minute for that, really, and sang over what we had done, which was just an instrumental arrangement.
That's kind of an interesting thing to bring up, because, with a lot of different bands, a lot of singers will do that. They'll wait till the music's done and then take it home and take a demo home of all the music and then write lyrics. And then sometimes they write with a guitar. So with a guitar. Is it a question of whichever one works at the time for you, Chris, or do you kind of, or all of you guys really, because I know you all write songs?
Well, there's a bunch of different ways, and there's that title was an idea I had before we started writing anything for the album, and then I forgot it.
Right.
And sometimes I'll write those ideas down, but I never write actual lyrics. Like I don't walk around with a pad and write down lyrics and then sort of make that fit the song. A producer friend of mine that did a couple Morrissey records said that his band would record the music and then he would come in and open up a sheet of paper and then the song would start and he would just start singing from the top down and pay no attention to what the arrangement was or where the choruses were or anything, and that's kind of where his style comes from. I would wait till we have music. Yeah,
that's a trick.
I wait till there's music, and if I have an idea, I wait for the music that idea will fit.
Right.
And I kind of I think that the music should sort of inform what the lyrics are, whether it's the phrasing, the attitude, all of that.
Yeah, it should be the same song somehow.
Yeah, it should fit.
So you never start out with the lyrics?
I've done that once in it was a Soundgarden song called Ocean Fronts, and I maybe changed 2 words to make it fit the music, but it was written without music in mind, without the song existing. And I think that's the only time in my life I've done that.
That's the song I auditioned.
And that's the song
with Soundgarden.
That's also a song we're not playing tonight.
No,
which is a bummer because Matt's wanted to do that again for a while. And then it's because of me. I don't know how to play it. So
you had to audition Matt Cameron.
Yep.
Come on.
Well, they had seen me play in some bands and stuff, but I heard Scott left, and I instantly got on the phone with my neighbor Kim Thile, and I said, Kim, let me in.
Actually, what happened was we were holding auditions, but when word got out that Matt was interested in playing with us, pretty much the other auditioners fell to the wayside. They just withdrew their interviews.
Of course.
Oh, that's it. Matt's doing it. I'm gonna take my drumsticks and go.
Well, I think adding to what this part of this question is like, Chris has always been really adept at sort of like making the lyrics or his input vocals to a completed song arrangement, whatnot. And I think the fact that he is a drummer and he knows like how all the parts sort of work together really is nice for us, that he's able to just to make it all work, and it always sounds kind of flawless when he does bring back a demo, with our sort of instrumental, and then he puts his vocals on it.
That's it.
It's always a nice.
Gonna sing it and write it. I'll put my pen down and shut up.
So it's always a nice surprise, just how it comes out.
Does the lyric writing ever get democratic at all?
What? No, but
it's hard to do it democratically, I think.
Yeah, obviously.
It's hard to write lyrics as a team.
Yeah, that's never come up. That's
not democratic, the closest.
But that's not democratic. That's sort of the taking something without specifically a melody and trying to figure out how I can actually sing it and changing a few words. It's like taking Ocean Fronts and changing a couple words so that it sings over the music.
What about, there are titles that you build lyrics around. Like in Sesame Maze. Because I didn't understand what it was you were singing.
Yeah, so. And it was like I was singing domestic something.
So cool.
And Kim thought, that's cool. And
Sesame Maze, that's a great name for a song. So,
and I'm erasing my lyrics. It sure is cool. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Written by Chris Cornell.
Yeah. Anything else you heard that I said? Or on the new album Tari, which was an instrumental that Ben wrote and named it that, and that was the name of the instrumental. And when I went to write the lyrics, I just thought that's what it should be. So I kind of found my own way around what that would mean, and that is the lyrics.
And that's what Matt was alluding to, that Chris is really good at that. So,
great, thank you.
That was a really good question that spurred a lot more cool.
Too bad we don't talk
Thanks.
like Donald Duck. That would have been a hilarious answer.
You gotta speak up, dude, because I know you're saying some incredibly amazing shit over
What did
there.
you hear? What did you hear? It's all going to tape, Taylor.
Amy Leon, where
here.
are you being?
Hey, Amy.
Right here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey guys. Lift to Rise. Was this written as part of the songs for King Animal? And how did it make it onto the Avengers soundtrack?
It was actually written for the Avengers film, and it was written after the songs for King Animal. So we were kind of finishing up, and then that offer came in, like, do you guys want to have a song in that? And we thought about not wanting to take a song out of context of the album and putting it there first. And I think that was the original idea, was, do you guys have a song? It was either, do you have a song that's going to be on your album that you want to be in this movie? And then the other one was like, do you have a song that you wrote for the album that you don't want to be on the album? In other words, do you have a song that's shittier than the other songs that we can give to this movie, kind of thing? Which comes up a lot, and that's sort of, I guess, what the concept of B-sides or bonus tracks is. And we don't really do that. If we actually record a song, it means we liked it. So that was written specifically for the movie.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe it shouldn't be called B-sides. It should just be called shittier songs.
Exactly. B-team.
Not as good songs.
We have a title.
The Bummets tracks.
That's true.
The crappier songs.
Shittier songs.
Bonus price.
No,
Shittier
Bummets.
songs and covers.
Yeah.
And then in parentheses, worse than the originals.
Oh, man. This is fun. I'm having fun. You guys having fun?
Yes.
How much do you guys get paid for Live to Rise? No, sorry.
As you probably know,
Nothing.
not as much as they used to pay.
That's for sure. Moving
A
on.
mere bag of shells.
Okay, this is a hard one, Kim, and I know you went to college. What does that say?
Influences?
No. the name. Edita Pesa.
Right here. Adita. So Soundgarden has clearly been a huge influence on today's bands. Who are your influences and who is influencing you now?
The Overlord.
I'll go. But
You're under the influence?
I actually started playing guitar for real. I played guitar when I was a kid occasionally, but I started actually playing guitar after Soundgarden formed. So my initial influences in songwriting and playing guitar were Kim and Hero, and then Ben and Matt. And that still holds true today. Like, if I'm writing a bass line for a song for Soundgarden, I often will think about what would Ben play, I would sort of imagine his bass playing in my mind, and that's based on a few different things. And the same thing with guitar or drum patterns or the arrangement of a song. These guys kind of come first in that world, and then the world of outside music. It's like kind of everything I've ever heard. For me, it probably starts with the Beatles. That they've had their discography had the biggest impact on me, I think, more than anything else I can think of. But that viewing into that, it also meant what I took from them was that they liked and listened to a lot of different kinds of music and were sort of fearless in how they adapted it, and seemed to believe that having fun being creative with music was the most important thing. And I just sort of took that as the law of the land.
Everyone else? Come on, that's the one everyone's got an answer for. Dial. Who was your guitar hero?
Jiminy
Randy
Cricket.
Rhoads or Eddie Van Halen?
Jimi Hendrix. I don't know. There are a lot of great guitar players. I don't know if I ever picked. Well, if there was a.
Did any of them have smoke coming out of the?
Yeah. There was. If there was a guy who was like a guitar hero, if there was a period of time when I thought it was okay to have a hero like that, it would have been Ace Frehley, because I was just young enough. just young enough, and
they're cool, man.
He glowed just enough to. But I don't think that was a musical influence so much. It was just the whole other thing, this the package. But in that regard, I don't see him as an influence, nor do I see Hendrix or any of them as influences. Maybe, but I like them. I just don't want to be like them. And so I think in my earlier bands, when I was writing songs, I'd write lyrics and music and complete songs, but I was really into the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. So I was writing punk rock songs. And when I joined this band, I was not interested in writing lyrics, and I wasn't really interested in anything other than making guitar sounds that would, and Chris would worry about the drum stuff and lyrics, and Hero would do the bass, and I wanted to worry about guitar sounds that could fit into a song or be a song. And that was freeing, because I didn't have to, I felt that it was a better band, it was more challenging than the bands I've been in prior, so I have to worry about things like lyrics. And the lyrical ideas that I liked when I was 16 or 17 were there's something hopelessly self-conscious about them, and my understanding of them later, which made me feel pain for other people's lyrics. Just reading lyrics, you thought, oh my God, that guy printed that. So, just make guitar sounds with trusting the other guys in the band to take care of the rest of it was just really liberating and great. I bet I didn't have to play guitar like I had before. I could stop doing my power chords and all those boogie things that were popular in the 70s, Leonard Skinner, Ted Nugent.
No finger tapping?
Jimi Hendrix.
Finger tapping on 12-string acoustics only. That's Ken's.
I think I played around with that a bit just because it was so novel. Hearing that Van Halen record really didn't sound like anything else at the time. But I played around with that for a bit until you see 14-year-old kids just playing that inside out in guitar stores. Like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do that either.
Those Rubik's Cube solvers.
How about Ben?
About me? I didn't play bass until I joined Soundgarden. I thought it was called harmonica. And so I went, oh no. I have to play Hiro Yamamoto bass lines that are buried in the mixes.
By the way, Hiro didn't play bass until...
What was he like? So I figured I'd listen to Charles Mingus to learn the dirty chords, right? I learned a lot about dirty chords from Charles Mingus. Chuck Dukowski from Black Flag, because he was like a loose tiger. And then Hiro Yamamoto was like the mentor in the fog, like a buoy light. And these guys had all the melody and the power and the grace, and they just let me fuck up. Matt used to watch me. I'd be playing, and I'd miss a string, because when you're first learning to play bass, the strings are too far apart, and you go, I know what I'm doing. And now my newest influence on bass is W.C. Fields. If you ever watched The Barber, it's a really cool little short film that he did. He plays bass in there. Oh, Lena's not here.
Does he really?
I have a bass named Lena after his bass named Lena. It's hilarious.
So, okay, I just got to stop there for a second. When you guys hired Ben to be your new bass player, he'd never played bass before.
No, I was a guitar player.
He was a guitarist.
Okay, you were a guitar player.
Yeah.
You weren't a harmonica player.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you're a
I thought it was a piano, though.
And Matt had never played drums before, but he was a quick study. And so, drums, sure, I'll try it.
Used to work at a bubble shop.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
Easy. Yeah. Shit, he can do it.
I was in a band with a guy that learned how to play drums by air drumming, and he sat down at a drum set and boom, nailed it.
Nice.
That is so weird to me. How can you do
a lot
that?
Of hours of air drumming, then.
He did.
Yeah. That's commitment.
His Highway Star.
Beat the shit out of it.
That's a hard one, man.
I know.
Ian Pace,
So
come
weird.
Matt,
Yes.
let's hear about your influences.
Let's see. Well, I guess I loved Buddy Rich when I was 9 or 10 years old. My dad took me to a Buddy Rich concert.
Wow.
And I was just flipping out on how fast he was playing, and I couldn't. His hands were a blur, and I just
Nobody's that fast.
And
still.
I just I couldn't really. It blew my mind so hard that I figured that it would be really fun to just get sort of close to what all that stuff was. I was flipping out I didn't understand how a hi-hat worked. Like, you actually had a pedal that made the cymbals go up and down. And I was looking at all this stuff moving. I was just like, what is going on? And then, I think I was really influenced by concerts I went to. Like, I saw David Bowie and Queen and, like, Kiss and all these really cool, like, 70s
one of those cool kids,
arena rock bands, So I liked all that stuff. But then when I was, I guess when I was 16 or 17, I started listening to more like I was a big Tony Williams guy. I thought his drumming was that's probably my favorite drummer of all time.
Tony Williams' lifetime.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's all pretty predictable stuff, but I think I took a left turn at jazz.
That's one thing about influence is like these guys have turned me on to so much music since I joined in 90 or whatever, that is still a continued influence, what these guys bring in.
Right.
And like, no, you're reinventing the wheel. This guy's already here. Check this out. That's right. Like, oh, that's Sonny Chirac. Holy hell.
Yeah. Wow.
Sounds like he's imitating Kim, but he's not. It's a really cool blue-black feeling to it all. When you talk about influences, it's kind of like trick-or-treating. You open the door and you don't know what's going to be there.
Well, yeah, they can kind of be anything, can't they?
And you can go on any thread of path. Oh, this influenced that and this and that, just in your own personal life. It's like, that's a long question that...
It can be the soundtrack to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Could have been your first influence.
Yeah.
It was mine.
We used to discuss that, actually, in the early days. Many of our influences were film and literature.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of conversations we'd have after practice.
So then all the threads of putting those together, if you ask a question like, what's your influences, it can go on forever, especially with 4-chair actors like this.
And then there's the unwanted part, too, which is I used to work in a restaurant where they played KSW all the time. And within the context of that, you could hear, like, taking care of business 4 or 5 times a day, that kind of thing. Pat Benatar songs over and over and over. And it used to freak me out because then I would wake up with a Men at Work song in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just
mess you up.
Yeah, I was just learning how to be a songwriter, and Soundgarden was starting. So what I would do is I would go in to the stereo receiver, and if you turned it off, everyone would hear it, and then they'd get mad at me. So I would slowly fade the volume down until it was off, and then I'd go back out and start working, and then you'd see people kind of. They'd be whistling the last song that was playing, and then after about 10 minutes, people would freak out when there's no ambient music, and then somebody would say, "Hey!"
That's that whole phenomenon right there is really important when you're recording to not get negative in somehow.
I still have that fear sometimes.
Yeah.
So I go into a silence mode when we're recording.
So you don't listen to any music?
No, I'll listen to classical music because there's no nonsense talking or telling me their new shoes fit correct or whatever.
Right. That's an interesting point.
And then you start listening to textures. So I'm past the point of being negatively influenced, but I'll listen to stuff that I never thought I would have listened to just for production values and tones and textures.
It's kind of hard to listen to music sometimes when you're making a record because you'll start listening to...
Just think if you worked in the movie industry and you're looking at a movie and you're, I can see the boom mic over there. I know that asshole that's over there fucking... It ruins every story, ruins every movie, so you don't try to do that to records either. You don't try to think of, how did they do this?
Yeah.
Because then you can't hear the song.
Can't hear the kick drum in that mix.
Exactly. Then you miss the song.
Yeah. I'd say that was a good answer.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't remember who asked it at this point.
Sorry.
Aditya.
Yep.
Abraham. Esparza.
Hello, Abraham.
Esparza.
Yeah.
From New York. Go.
Has the songwriting process changed since early days?
The very, very early days, a lot of it kind of happened in jams, sort of in a room, but still, sort of often start with an idea someone brought in, but things could sometimes happen immediately in a room. But in a way, we sort of have come full circle because we spent a lot of time in a room on this album, kind of working through arrangements and almost overworking arrangements sometimes. The difference being this time, it seems like the songs that we spent a lot of time arranging, where we would maybe go take a left turn for a while and then have to come back, and because we lost it and we'd have to re-find it. But those worked out. And there was a time years ago when if we got into the arrangement of a song and overdid it, we would lose interest in it, and it would get left for dead as we moved on to something else that happened immediately and was more exciting. Black Rain was one of those that it seemed like an unsolvable puzzle years ago, and then we revisited it last year, made a new song out of it, and it seemed really like it was obvious what to do with it. And I don't know where that comes from. Experience, maybe, I'm not sure. But the quick answer is no, things aren't really any different.
There's a couple things. We don't let Kim play the drums as much anymore. And we all hide the dream couches when we're jamming.
I like your answers the most, Ben.
Oh,
sure.
Shut up.
I really do. They're really esoteric, to say the least.
Whatever. That's for the kids. Whatever, dude. Evers.
Matthew?
Yeah, you know, I would just add that Chris has kind of brought in more completed sort of, you know, start to finish, like just master
because he knows
songwriting.
How to use his 4-track, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of it did come from, you know, home recording technology in the mid 80s. We all had like 4-track cassettes, so we were able to maybe kind of flesh out parts in a way that wasn't just from a, you know, us in a room jamming together. And that really helped me develop as a songwriter. I was able to kind of just really kind of dig in on guitar riffs and guitar parts and songs and things. So I felt like I developed around 1990 as far as bringing in more music to Soundgarden, and it was probably just from, you know, just spending all the hours in my, you know, in my room on a 4-track. But I don't know, I think the fact that we never stopped never stopped writing and trying to get better at that has been sort of a lifelong passion of ours as musicians and, you know, as bandmates.
Kim, did you want to say something? Hasn't changed. Same.
No, it's changed.
Okay.
It's changed.
It's changed. The end. Next question. All right, moving on. Joyce. Joyce, Dabshire.
Derbyshire?
Derbyshire,
yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Derbyshire.
Thank you. If you could have been as equally successful in another career or venture as you have been in
I didn't say that.
All. Do you want me to repeat the question?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Welcome to interviewing Ben.
What?
Okay,
Kim.
baseball, what position?
I can't say that.
Bat boy?
I didn't say that. Kim's the smart one here.
Anyone else?
You didn't finish the question. If we could have been equally successful in another
venture, as
what
you have been in
career
music. Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know.
Inventor.
Nothing. There's nothing I could have done.
I know.
The only thing I ever did where anyone ever looked at me and said, "Wow," was music. Yeah. Everything else was I disappointed everyone else, and myself, consistently.
Same here for sure.
I still do that.
Dial, nothing.
He said baseball.
Oh, you said baseball.
What position?
I told you guys you never listen to me, man.
Well, I just figured it was you.
Christ.
That was an interview that we did that I did with Johnny Ramone, where I can't remember if I was interviewing him or if he was interviewing me, but we were talking about baseball and rock and roll, and he asked if you could have the same success in baseball as you have in music, would you?
Yeah, would you do it? No.
I think the conversation was yes, because when he was younger, he wanted to be a ball player, and when I was younger, I certainly, like many
that
kids,
is a
had
weird
to
phenomenon too. There's a lot of baseball and rock and roll crossover, and I don't know if it's
if you're healthy, a baseball career might last longer.
Yeah, but there's practical aspects that you have to consider, like
being able to hold a ball.
None of those. I'm talking about you have to do post game interviews. You have to be around a lot of dudes in airplanes, on buses, in locker rooms. You have to be mostly naked around other men a lot.
Yes,
like
and
being
the
in a
problem
band.
is,
proximity to lots of people all the time.
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking that when I was like 12 or 14.
No, but the question.
In fact, I wasn't even thinking
as an adult, a mature adult that can look practically at this.
Yeah.
Maybe. God, I hate baseball.
I don't think I probably wouldn't even want to do this then if I look
That's why I bring the other one. There's no dream couches.
Because at least there's only 3 other guys and, a few other people around.
Right.
That was a good question. We're going to move on. Vic?
Okay, so this question is for Matt. By Crooked Steps, you showed the riffs and the song took off. As the drummer in the band, is it common in Soundgarden for you to contribute to other instruments?
Only guitar parts. If I bring in some music, it'll be a guitar, either riff or line, or hopefully, a good chunk of music. So I'll bring that in, and with that one in particular, I just sort of had the verse and the chorus.
But he showed it to us on saxophone.
I wish. And so I think I just sat down, I started playing it, and Chris was like, "Whoa, what's that?" So we kind of arranged that one for, I don't know, a week or so, and we recorded a version, like an instrumental
then rearranged
version. And Chris said, "Okay, I need like a certain number for this verse and a certain number for that verse." And then he took it home and recorded some vocals on it, which pretty much became what it is now.
Yeah.
And then we kind of did Kim came up with that breakdown chord part, and Ben came up with the 4/4 part at the very end. So I think the way that song sort of naturally happened was a really nice kind of classic Soundgarden song, in the sense that like there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of build up, and then it kind of like there's a little bit of a payoff at the very end. So I really like the way that one came out, but the original idea was just 2-part guitar riff, and luckily these guys are good enough to take something that small and expand on it.
Good job, man.
Good job.
It's a good song.
It's a great song. One of my favorites on the record. Anyways, Rishi Nagam.
Nagam, yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys, for doing this, especially to Kim from a couple of suburban Indian kids that learned how to rock from you. Was getting back into the studio seamless, like no time had passed, or was it a process of learning to play together again?
We had to learn to play again.
Yeah, well, we had toured a little bit before we went into the studio and decided to write some new music together. So that was kind of almost a year-long process of playing shows, rehearsing, and that type of thing. And I guess like to get to that point, to be able to play shows, we definitely had to rehearse and relearn a lot of these songs that we hadn't even listened to for a number of years, But once we started, it came back pretty quick, just because of kind of who we are and the type of sound that we 4 guys make together. I think that's the thing that we just wanted to make sure that that was still intact, just our sound, and from that point we could sort of go do all the other stuff.
Yeah, we were interested first in reconnecting with our fans and like somehow connecting with new fans that might be out there via fan club website, available merchandise, re-releases, things like that. But once we started getting into it, then we're kind of dealing with the responsibility in the business of being a band, and it didn't take long before we were kind of just sort of naturally looking at it like, let's make a record, because that's really the funnest thing. creating something that otherwise doesn't exist yet. And we all four kind of started to focus on that and say, let's not do these shows or let's not do that tour. Let's be in the studio and let's write. And so it was pretty natural thing to have happen. But it happened because of the fact that we had a responsibility to our legacy and to our catalog that we decided we needed to get together in a room and start to deal with.
We met at your hotel room to talk about the working on the legacy and the reproduct or whatever. I thought we were going there to record.
In the hotel?
Yeah.
Room?
That's how
that must be a good. That's a big hotel room.
That's how stupid I am and how patient I am that we finally got back to rocking out again.
I guarantee you records have been made in hotel rooms.
You bet.
There you go. I'm thinking of some other records made in hotel rooms. Christopher
Curcio, you got it.
Curcio.
Whoa. Hey, where'd you get that voice?
Hey, you're loud.
Stand up, Christopher.
Guys, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure. Thank you to Sirius, too, for having this, honestly. I really wanted to call an audible, but I'm going to read the question.
Oh, it's audible.
Soundgarden was one of the first Seattle grunge-era bands to sign a major label. Clearly, there must be something in the water up there. I didn't write that.
There's nothing but water up there.
Have you all maintained your roots to the area?
Okay, wait, before you guys answer, and I know I'm
speaking to the microphone.
I know,
please.
I'm keeping it quick. I'm moving, baby. Do we have to use the word fucking grunge?
No.
I didn't write it.
Are we going to really use I think that sucks. I was telling you guys last night in the dressing room.
No.
I remember my dad saying, Are you into that grunge rock? And I was like, you know what, Dad? There's no such thing as grunge rock, okay? It's fucking rock music, all right? And exactly. Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Nirvana don't sound anything like each other.
That's exactly right. That's true.
Do you guys still get that tag?
Huh?
Do you guys get that tag?
Grunge? We're post-grunge.
Post-grunge.
Oh my God.
Which is fucking worse.
That is.
Would that put you in a category with Creed?
That's like
and Nickelback?
Yeah, we're with Creed.
So
and
you're all
Nickelback.
cleaned up. You've been bleached.
It's fucking lame. I'm sorry. Grunge is over, folks. It never started. Moving on. Guys,
I don't even remember the question.
Yeah, sorry. Do you guys still maintain the roots to the area?
To the area, yeah, we still live up there. I reclaimed my yard. See, there's a thing called blackberries and stuff that happens up there.
Yeah.
I just reclaimed my house
every
after
August.
Years of not being there.
Well, Neil Young recently said, your environment has a lot to do with whatever you create, like music or art or whatever. And sometimes I think that was a big component in our sound, and like various bands from the Pacific Northwest.
Ferry boats.
Ferry boats, yeah, basements.
Guys, hey, you got any extra money? You got some money?
I don't know. It's just it's kind of its own little world up there. So
we've recorded almost all of our music for all of our albums there, mostly written there. So we never really left that.
Well, Bad Motorfinger, we did the drums in Sausalito because we knew that was a good drum room.
Yep.
So it's the first thing you do when you record. You want to get the drums sounding right.
Is that the record plant?
I think
Studio D. Studio D.
No, Studio D.
Record
Right.
Studio D. Yeah. And we made one album in Newburgh, Oregon, a couple hours outside of Portland. But it's still Northwest.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll write our next record in Ibiza. And see how it comes out.
It'll be an EDM record.
Why not right here? You like the sound in this room, right?
This is a good room.
This would be good.
Couple good records made here.
Do the next one.
Yeah.
Here.
A couple, three.
You can get takeout of any kind of food.
Taylor, can you arrange it so that it's, what do you call it? Free 50 free?
Free 50 free.
Yeah, that's the best price.
Soundgarden do a couple commercials.
Free 50 free.
Land, maybe wear some Electric Lady
do it free 50 free.
Sure. And stuff. I bet you guys get maybe a free week here.
What do you guys?
You guys can make a record in a week. Hell yeah.
I know. Well, they went mum. I asked them if they thought we should do it here, and nobody said anything, so we're not gonna. Fuck it.
There you go. You guys blew it.
There's your New York Minute, motherfuckers.
Next question. Gary.
How does it feel to be covered by the late, great Johnny Cash? Your thoughts on his version of
He was alive when he did the cover.
Yeah, thank God. Oh, my God.
No, I know.
It was an honor. Definite honor.
Yeah, it was an amazing thing. I actually saw some Bob Dylan documentary. I don't remember which one because there's a lot of them where he talks about that, and he's still young, I think, when he's talking about it, saying how great it was that Johnny Cash did one of his songs. And we felt the same way. That's the one thing we have in common with Bob Dylan. That we appreciated that.
Anyone else on that? Or are you all?
Oh yeah, that was a total honor that that song was chosen. And we were asked about this earlier today, and I remember he was interviewed by Larry King, and he was talking about the lyrics of Rusty Cage reminding him of like a beat poetry, and how and his version of the song really brought out the lyric of that song in a way that only he can.
Yeah, I got messages on my answering machine after that. That was back when you had answering machines, and remember that?
Kim still has one.
Yeah. And I got about 10 of them saying that they heard Johnny Cash's version of Rusty Cage and how great the lyrics were. And I thought, well, when our version came out, I didn't get one.
I know, exactly.
Message. No one ever said anything about that.
That's one thing I always thought about it too. It's like all these people going, "Oh, Johnny Cash did this," and now they're discovering Johnny Cash. And I always had respect for people before they said that, and then when they said that, it's like, you're just now, because of one of our songs, learning who Johnny Cash is.
Mm-hmm.
Oi!
Yeah.
They demoted.
My brother brought home Live at San Quentin when I was 9, and and we listened to it over and over again, and that put to me, Johnny Cash put him like in that category of superhero, where I would put John Lennon. That thing of getting so into his music at such a young age that it's hard to sort of transition into that notion that he's a real guy and he was standing there talking to us.
I took it personal too, because I used to get beat up for liking Johnny Cash when I was a little kid. It wasn't cool to like him.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Where would that have been?
Kingstone.
Wow.
Where'd you grow up, Ben?
What the hell were they listening to?
There's Land of Five Trees. You don't care where I grew up.
Okay. We got to move on, or I'm going to get in trouble.
He was on an episode of Columbo, Johnny Cash.
Yep. He was?
Yeah. It was really
the
cool.
front door. He really was.
He's a country singer that kills his wife by crashing his Cessna and jumping out. He drugs her, and then he jumps out of the Cessna with a parachute, and then the plane crashes. She dies, and then he finds the crash when he lands, and then lays down next to it like he got thrown from the wreck.
Shut the fuck up! Can you watch this on YouTube? Of course.
Probably, and then Columbo figures it out.
Yeah, this is how we record too. This is kind of
that's fucking amazing.
You did a lot of TV.
I didn't know he wasn't on Love Boat, was he?
Movies.
No.
He was Johnny Cash.
He's not on Love Boat.
Well, he was on fucking Columbo.
Columbo's awesome.
Columbo was
Alice Cooper was on the Snoop Sisters.
Well, I don't even know what that is.
It was one of those Sunday night mysteries along with Columbo.
You remember when the Doobie Brothers were on What's Happening? They were, I swear.
They were?
You didn't see that?
No, I'm not making up
I'm going to
Alice
get in trouble.
Cooper thing.
Sorry. We're moving on. This one's going to last this is like a 4-hour conversation with
Remember when
Soundgarden.
Ray Charles was a judge on...
All right. You are, by the way, listening to SiriusXM, the Town Hall with Soundgarden, being interviewed by a total dipshit, Taylor Hawkins. Victor Burden.
Have you Eric Burden?
Eric Burden's brother. Hi.
Close, but not that close. And you're not a dipshit.
Oh, thank you.
You just can't pronounce names.
I needed that.
It's okay. I think I speak for everyone here when I say welcome back into rocking our world, first of all.
Sir.
Thank you.
And my question is regarding non-state actor. Ben and Kim wrote this song together. The first time just these two worked on a song together. How did the song come together?
Well, I brought in a riff, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to see what they do to this. This will be fun. I brought it in, and I was retarded with it. I kept changing things as they were learning them. No, this is cooler. No, that's stupid. That's cool. Yes. No, Ben, stay. Oh, that's cool. And Matt came in with his drum beat. And Kim's like, hey, that sounds, I can't do Kim, but hey, that sounds like world pop punk rock. Right? And that was its working title, World Pop Punk Rock. And then Kim and Chris were writing lyrics, and Chris didn't like what he was working on.
I hated what I did. I sang a whole thing.
Yeah.
You guys will never hear it. I don't even have it.
And Kim went, I want to write the lyrics to that, so he did. It's like, no, I want to do that. So he wrote them, and then Chris tagged a line into the song, and that's how it is. Matt played it. I thought it was going to sound like a Hendrix tune, actually. The one with the cowbell. Easy Rider.
Oh, yeah.
It was my imitation of Easy Rider.
That was when we spent a lot of time arranging.
Yeah, that was the New Black Rain of arrangements. Like, oh my God, are we going to... like, way too many things happening.
It's nice to...
I'm tired.
It was zipped and unzipped.
Yep.
It's nice to see.
Didn't you come up with the melody, kind of, Kim? Didn't you sort of like
I'm sorry.
show Chris the vocal,
vocal
melody
lyrics,
kind of stuff too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would fit where? Then Chris streamlined.
Did you do that in like a private room so no one could hear you singing? Or?
Yeah,
No, I caught him doing. I caught him singing it like they were sitting next to each other at the console. And Kim's like,
That was kind of how it happened.
You hit a G sharp here.
Only more tears.
Yep. And consoling, like consoling pats on. It's okay, Kim. Keep going. Come by up. Come on.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But the lyrics were communicated via email, I think.
By English.
English email. That's what. English and E.
Now, explain the title.
No.
Okay.
Can't explain the title. Got to use the.
He can.
You can Google it.
Yep.
Or Wikipedia.
So there is such thing as a non-state actor.
Yes.
Okay.
You bet.
Hit your Blackberries or your iPhones right now, and you'll find out.
Here's a clue: Sarah Palin.
The whole world around you. There's a whole.
Sure.
world.
After she left office.
That's right. After she left.
That's right.
Just the whole world around you can see the non-state actor, in action.
Are we on? I just never know when the end. I don't know.
You're in charge.
I never know.
You're in charge of the pace.
I'm trying to speed it along.
The
but
bespectacled
I
man
know.
nodded.
You're the Captain Steubing of this whole fucking thing.
Chris O'Connor, where the hell are you, baby? Give it to us.
I was at the show last night. You guys were great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My question is to Matt and Chris, since you both have a connection to Temple of the Dog. Do you think there'll be a reunion in the future?
Only if Dave Letterman, our new manager, will let them.
Only if we can think of 2 or 3 or 4 other bands to get going that Matt can play drums in, so they can do all of them at the same time. That would be great.
No, thank you. Well, we sort of got together for the PJ20 shows. We played some songs for the first time in I don't know how long, 20-ish years.
A long time. Well, no, we did it 10 years ago.
I think that record came together, at a certain point in time, and it represented this, loss of a friend of ours.
Exactly.
So I think we like to just keep it in that time period and not try to reproduce it or something.
I miss that guy.
What about the new Black Sabbath record? Are you going to play on that?
Well, word on the street is that. No, I can't reveal it.
That'd be no.
He still took that as a yes. Heard about it. Well, you know who should fucking play on it? Bill Ward.
Well, that's sort of
Vinny Apps.
Mum's the word.
All right. I wouldn't know, but it makes sense.
I just pulled that out of my ass. I don't know anything about anything.
Matthew Williams.
Great to have you guys with us. Thank you. People often talk about the death of the music industry, especially over the last 10 years, but rock music seems like it's coming back pretty strong. Was the state of the music industry ever a concern for you guys before you started touring and recording again?
Never heard of it.
I think the state of the music industry was always a concern for us, so we'd never seemed to fit into it. and whatever, I don't think anyone really knows what the music industry is now. I think it changes hourly, so I can't really say that we fit into it now. But there are aspects of it, there are things about it that are similar to the way it worked for us when we were an indie band. There are a lot of just sort of the independent aspects and the ways of reaching your fans, and us also being in a position where we can pay for our own studio time and pay for our own record production and pay for everything we need to pay for to make an album, all the way through packaging and everything, without a label, without any of the business. And then look for the right place to put it and find the right partners to put it out and make those decisions sort of in any way we want. And in that way, I think that works. We work well with that. But on the whole, yeah, I don't. The business of music has always been that necessary evil to reach your fans and to reach people that you think might like your music, so that you have fans, and you have the ability to make it. So I guess we've been pretty lucky, considering that we're in sort of working within an industry that is, I've felt like we've always been outsiders of.
All right.
It's kind of like walking around parts like a dying woolly mammoth over, hey, I think it's going to fall right here. But no one listens. And then all of a sudden the woolly mammoth is dead, and hopefully you run out of the way of that.
You mean the music industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand.
I like the way the music industry is going right now, actually.
Yeah? Good.
I kind of do. It's kind of back in the band's hands now, in a way, There's a lot less record company people going on
absolutely
private jets.
Yep.
Golfing. The woolly mammoth fell.
That's the woolly mammoth you're speaking of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably get in trouble with some
you
record
just
company
made the
people
drums
now.
ring. That's cool.
What are they going to do about it?
I'm going to get dropped, man.
No, they need you. You don't
time to the woolly mammoth and throw him overboard.
There goes. Joe. Your name is Joe. There might be two Joes, so.
What's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe. What the fuck is your question?
The new songs are so powerful and alive. Are you having more fun playing and making music now than in the 1990s?
More fun?
Yes. I wasn't saying yes, we're having more fun. I'm saying yes, that's the question. Answer it.
We are still pondering.
We're still pondering. Hang on.
Kim.
Pondering.
Oh, we had a lot of fun before.
That was what I thought was going to come up. Yeah, we did. It's true. It's always fun. And that's why we're doing it now. If it wasn't fun then, we wouldn't be doing it now. I don't think it wouldn't have gotten us into day one. Yep.
So yes, they are having fun. I can see by the smiles on their faces. And this is their favorite part, interviews. Laura?
You noticed.
We're terrible at it.
Lara? Where are you, Lara?
Please pass the microphone.
There are some really great reviews out for the new album, King Animal, and I wondered what you think the role of music critic plays in the success or failure of an album.
Ooh, good question. We're waiting for that Pitchfork review.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's so many avenues for, like, maybe people that aren't qualified to review music doing it these days, like, the bloggers or vloggers or whatever.
They don't know music, or they don't know cultural trends, or they don't know journalism.
That's right.
They don't know,
but they can manage to write, though.
And it's all like opinion based more. It's more it's more about their opinion as opposed to like an objective properly sort of put together review. The fact that the New York Times gave it a good review and Mojo gave it a good review is great in my book, because I consider those legitimate.
Yeah.
But
do the record buying kids read those?
Well, I read them.
I think with like the ability to go on iTunes and audition most of a song of every song on the album, like, who gives a fuck what anybody writes as a review anyway? Because it's free to go and listen to it. And if you can't make up your own mind, and you have to listen and believe what someone else writes based on what they think that music is, then you've got sort of bigger problems. And then with us, there's always been this issue of context that's I feel like is like the preoccupation of a lot of record reviewers. Like, it's not this is good because, or this isn't good because, or they could have done X or whatever. It's always like, this is good because these other guys over there are doing X, and these other girls over here are doing Y, and then that fits in the middle somehow, or shouldn't be there. You know, it's the context part.
And we're doing XXY.
Exactly, and no one ever understands that.
With her and him.
And then there's also this like just idiotic reference thing when it comes to rock music. The first kind of somehow wants to focus on the lead singer and the lead guitar player, and the words lead is always there, lead, and then conflict between the two, and then the new album based on what those two guys are doing. And in this band, that's always pissed me off, because this band is very much a 4-member band where everyone in the band contributes musically, instrumentally. Anyone can contribute lyrically. We're all 4 very involved in what this new album is, or what any album we've ever made is. And most of the record reviews, even if they're glowing, praising reviews, never seem to fucking mention that, which is that's something that's always annoyed me. They must not really know anything about us or our history or who we are or what we do to not delve a little further into those areas.
But just for the record, you did sink my battleship, and I believe I didn't let go of your ego.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you.
So the influence or critic, I don't know. I don't know that they influence anything. They obviously don't pay attention, or wrongly pay attention. Do they influence anybody? Are you influenced by record reviewers or critics?
Well, I remember like after that, the Spider-Man play was reviewed like in the New York Times as like the worst Broadway play in the history of Broadway plays. Like the theory was that, oh, this is just gonna tank, because they got this horrible New York Times review, like it'll fail miserably. And it's like, it's like times have changed, because it's like the biggest play that people want to see.
Well, if it's that bad, everybody's going to
Well, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm fucking bad. I'm going. It's going to be great.
That's the snarky wallet. Get out of your snarky wallet.
So, who knows?
Taylor got a pint of Jim Beam, and he's watching Spider-Man play again.
Exactly. Who's ever bought a fucking record because of a review? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
It helps you prioritize your shopping list, I suppose. You have a Christmas list, and if you're a kid, like when I was a teenager, I maybe had $5 every couple of weeks to buy a record. So maybe a review would help in that regard. It might put a new release to the forefront of my mind. It's like, so am I going to get that Talking Heads record or the Ramones record, or I'll get the REO Speedwagon record.
I'll compromise.
The thing I do like about reviews and critiques is that you're focused on the same thing that someone else is. You have the exact topic that you're thinking of, and there's a focus to it. I like that. I don't care what the opinion is or what it is, or good or bad or whatever, or stars. It's just cool to get to focus on something with someone that you might not ever see.
Jack Endino, if you guys recognize his name, he produced Screaming Life, and of course the first Nirvana album and early Mudhoney records. He's a little bit older than us, and he's just got a great collection of Hawkwind, Motorhead, Zeppelin, Sabbath, Pink Floyd records, Budgie, all these great Groundhogs, his favorite band, the Groundhogs, but all these great bands from the 70s. Well, he also had a Rolling Stone subscription. So he'd buy all the Zeppelin records, and he'd buy the Rolling Stone magazine that had a review of the album he just bought. And it was generally with the Zeppelin, all the records are panned by Rolling Stone, all of them. And he cut the articles out and would put them in with the records.
Yep.
So decades later, of course, I become his friend, go over and visit him. He's like, you got to see this. And he's just dragging out all these records from the 70s even great Pink Floyd records we think are classic now. And he's whipping them out, and saying in every one there's the Rolling Stone pan inside of it. So I guess the answer, for all practical purposes, no. Critics don't have an effect on the popularity, sale, or ultimate place in history that these works will find themselves. I think the most they can do is probably help people with scarce resources prioritize their shopping list. That's about it.
They called Queen 2 a bucket of urine.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's right there.
That's
not even right there, man.
It's a bucket of urine. It's a bucket of urine.
My word.
Rolling
Good
Stone
day.
called Queen 2 a bucket of urine.
Wow. They loved Randy Newman.
And Jackson Brown.
And Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. Do you know all you guys have green electrical tape on your cables except for me?
That's you are the Eggman.
Lead singer.
So I think that we're kind of done. I was supposed to get the one question. I don't get my question. Do I get a question?
You can get your question.
Of course you get a question.
Please.
Go for it.
You guys are really awesome, and
our favorite colors are blue, green,
Do you remember that one song that goes,
I was wondering.
No. Here comes a question from the postcard superstar Taylor Hawkins. Can you stutter?
Hi.
On Sirius.
That one song you did?
You know, remember? Yeah, I was totally good. But what was that? What was that Saturday Night Live? Chris Farley with Paul McCartney. So remember when you guys did that song, Black Hole Sun? Anyways, my question is, what do you guys think of the technology of recording these days? I mean, you know, the record that we just made and this other band that I play in, this band that I play in, we did it on tape. And I know you guys did probably all of your albums, maybe up until this one, on tape. Yep. Ben really wants to answer this, obviously. You know, there's two ways of looking at it, because a lot of times I'll put this question to somebody and they go, well, you know, tape is so much warmer. And that's not really my problem sometimes with Pro Tools or computers. My problem is more about the enhancement of the performances. I mean, when you listen to a record that was made on tape, what they did was about as good as they could do. And they may have did it a million times, and they may have cut the shit out of the tape, and they may have went in there with the Eventide and tweaked a little bit of the tuning on the vocals, but that shit takes a long time, and it's really hard to do, and you can't make shit perfect like that. Yeah. With Pro Tools, 4 jackasses can come into Electric Ladyland Studios, play out of tune, out of time, out of key, and sound like dog shit.
That's my job.
And sound relatively pretty good after whoever the producer said is done.
Yeah.
Well, how do you
it's not
guys
going to sound like a band, though.
You can sound like a rap artist.
Yeah. It's going to, I mean, everything has to be sort of timed by grid, and then performances lined up, and then you stop hearing like human beings in a room.
Right.
So the music suffers. I mean, Pro Tools was designed for sound editing, and like for us, whether we record onto tape or digitally, we don't approach it any differently.
So it's just another tape machine.
One thing you can think up like some crazy idea that you want to do as an effect and figure out a way to do it in a computer like really quickly and decide, oh, that's cool or that's not cool, and you'll know the answer. And it might take you, like you said, a lot less time to figure that out. But in terms of like drastic editing or pitching or things that happen inside the box, that's sort of up to the people making the record, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you don't really have to be as prepared now going into the studio if you do rely on that type of technology. Like a producer can loop 2 bars of your drum track, or you know, they can tune up your vocals or sort of align everything with, you know, the measure inside the tempo that's on the session. So I think the performance element has gone out of a lot of new rock recordings, you know. Like
and I'm kind of more talking about rock and roll. I mean, I'm not talking,
for
obviously,
sure.
you know, Britney Spears sounds good in Pro Tools.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sort of that type of music is designed for that technology for sure. And the guys that do it at that level, they're really good at it. And it's like, you know, they create those earworms that you can only sort of do in a computer. But I think like what we do as bands, you know, and rock musicians, the performance element is what makes it good and powerful.
Indeed.
You know. So I think we've always tried to be prepared when we go into the studio environment with our performances kind of intact, so we can do an entire take,
Right.
But one thing I sort of like about it as a drummer now is that I get to punch in. I can punch in, if I miss some part, it's like, whereas before I'd have to do the whole takeover, which is fine, but
you don't punch in on tape? Till we punched in all over the place.
Well, there's always kind of a lag, right? I mean, don't you get a little bit of a lag or something? Or
we're getting technical.
Okay, technical.
Sorry, but yeah,
drummer geek talk here.
Well, I remember, it's funny when we were making I don't want to talk about me, but they kept wanting to edit drums, and they would edit like 6 takes together. And
what are you, a hack?
Yeah, totally. Bullshitting my way into this crap.
No way.
And I finally said, let's just drop in. And you can. So this is tech talk that you guys are bored. Sorry. You can edit that out in Pro Tools.
It's tech talk for me.
That was really awesome, guys.
I didn't know that you would drop in and that you could punch in. I never knew Matt was punching in.
Well,
like that.
There was a couple occasions on this new record.
Usually never, of course.
But that's part of the benefit of taking time through your whole recording process. And one thing that's really fun in recording that's not there anymore is with your headphones on, you're waiting. Oh, it's messed up. Go back to the top. Okay, go to that. And you hear the tape going. Right. It's gone now. But you sit there and you wait. And you're waiting for it. And we're ready. Yeah. Oh, I thought we were. It is back to the top. There's no top. Yeah, it's a click away. It totally completely changes your mental landscape of what you're actually doing. The information opens up and goes forever.
Right.
And you have to tell the computer to stop right here. Otherwise, it'll take you hours to get back to the top of a song. So if you're ever using Pro Tools and computers, you have to, what do they call that?
Apple Z. I don't know.
No, that's like it means barricade, or you corridor it, or index and stuff, and otherwise it'll just keep reading. Oh, you're not recording anything; it's just going forever. So hit the space bar. Go back to the top. That's tech talk.
We just lost every listener.
Good. It's a triumph.
2 people listening, sitting by their computer.
We meant to say kaboom, flashpot, lights.
Well, I just gonna say that I don't think I blew it too bad.
You were fantastic.
These guys were fucking awesome, and
good job, Taylor.
I'm just gonna tell you to shut up.
Now, in a second, after they go and put their stage outfits on, they're gonna come out here.
No, we went over, so we have to go because we have other interviews.
Jam. No jam.
No, you ran it too long. You were the captain.
I blew it.
We're gonna put on our baggy
Stupid blew it.
We are.
Well Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give Taylor a hand, please.
Taylor Hawkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Soundgarden, Town Hall, SiriusXM.
This is SiriusXM's Town Hall with Soundgarden. Now, an exclusive live performance at the historic Electric Lady Studios in New York City as they prepare for a 2013 world tour. To introduce the band, please welcome back the host of our SiriusXM Town Hall with Soundgarden, Taylor Hawkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys better stand your asses up, okay? This is not a sit-down type situation. This is a stand-up, rock your asses off. Your ears are gonna hurt after this for sure, by the way. You're fucked. But I'll tell you what, you get to watch Soundgarden this close, you guys better get fucking excited. This is amazing. I'm just as excited as you guys. Come on! Ow!
Thank you.
Like a dog, Thank you very much, you guys.
Hello. Hello.
Where is it? Hey, thanks for spending time with us, all y'all. Taylor, you want to dance? You can just come on. Thank you very much. You guys were great. Thank you, Taylor.
You've been listening to another exclusive broadcast, SiriusXM's Town Hall with Soundgarden. Hear it again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on SiriusXM's Pearl Jam Radio.